So today we're going to be talking about you, Joe, a little bit,
Yeah, nice.
about mindset, about some of the biggest blocks, some of the hurdles you overcame, like how you got to where you are today,
Cool.
whatever comes up, zero plans.
Yeah, it's funny, Jake. It was my birthday on Sunday, right? And had that little sauna gathering with some guys, and it was really beautiful. They spent a minute like praising me, like why do we like you? And it was funny. It was like no one who says that, right? Like your mates, you're like, you're cool, I like you. But it was really nice. But the piece that came up was like talking mindset. One of my friends, Barnaby, known him for a long time. He's like, Joe, he's a boxer. He was like, in boxing we have the duck and weave, and I feel like that's you in life. When an obstacle comes up, and he's like, you find a new angle. You don't just like bash your head into the wall. That was a really beautiful thing. So mindset, that like
Nice.
around that.
And what's you're 46?
Yeah, man.
46.
46.
46 years on this planet. What's your message to the world?
What is
I'm throwing big ones at you because you did it.
You did, man. I knew I'd pay for this one day. Hey, what's my message to the world
So far?
so far? Yeah, I mean, I guess what's coming up is like, you can do anything you want. Growing up with school and stuff, it was kind of, I moved from America to England when I was 13, like GCSEs time. And I didn't do very well in my GCSEs, disruption, la la la. And there was a lot of like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do with your life? Oh my God, and got to college and kind of swapped courses and scraped by with a photography A-level and then didn't go to uni and had some jobs. And certainly for my parents, there's a lot of like, oh gosh, yeah, whoa, you're going to fail, and how are you ever going to? And here I am. I've got two beautiful children, a lovely wife, a home in Sri Lanka, home in Cornwall. I'm all right. So I guess the message is find your own path, carve it if you can't find it. Find a route that works for you, because we're all completely unique and different,
Yeah.
And what's going to work for you, Jake, isn't going to work for me, and yeah, the overarching theme.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's rewind. I'm really interested to find out about the beginnings. Obviously, birthed in America.
Yeah, California.
Found your way here at 13. Like, what were those young years like? Like, what comes up?
Yeah, it's nice to be asked these things and to think about it, because it's like a feeling comes over. I grew up in California. We're outside all the time. Tennis was a family sport. My dad played, and mum, and we were just outside. It was California. Everyone had a pool. We were in the pool. We were at the beach, riding bikes, playing baseball, rollerblading. It was just active. And, because I'm 46, we didn't have social media. We didn't have phones. So screen time was like, we're going to watch a movie as a family on Friday, and it's, I don't know, E.T. or something. And we sat there and we watched it for 2 hours, and that was it. And then we just made our own fun, and my brother and I climbing trees, all that stuff. So a lot, I guess, I want to say freer a little. It felt, when I look at what society is like now, it definitely felt freer growing up. And maybe there's an American hinge on that of being outside all the time. Not weird. The weather allows you to do that.
Obviously, like you said, you had a pool and stuff like that. Were your parents well off, or was that just a thing that people had in California?
Yeah, I guess we were just pretty middle class, we certainly, both parents worked. It wasn't like, we were rolling in it. Everyone had a pool. Pretty much everyone had a pool in our area, obviously. But yeah. And then my dad, because he was older, dad passed away 5 years ago. 5 years ago. He was 95 when he passed away, so he was much older, and he retired. And so then my mum was working full time. That actually happened when we moved to England. So I had both parents around, and then mainly my dad around as a teenager, which is interesting. Mum would go to work; she was a nurse.
Yeah. What did your dad do?
He worked in TV world. He ran a cable TV company in the States. Which sounds like we'd be loaded, but it wasn't like a the BBC or something. It was like a local.
Yeah. I mean, business, just because you own a business doesn't, it takes a lot of
perception,
sacrifice,
yeah.
right? There's obviously a pot of gold potentially at the end of the rainbow, but during the grind, it's not always necessarily what it seems.
Totally. But we had everything we needed, you know,
Yeah.
and bless them for that. And we'd holiday to England, where my parents were actually from. So we'd come over here and...
Oh, right, okay.
So they're English.
What took them to America then?
Well, they came separately. So my dad was married previously. He was in Canada with his wife and children. They moved to California. Then his first wife passed away when his first kids were in their like 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then he met my mom and had my younger brother and I in California. So that's the story. So what brought them there? Dad, work. He went to Canada to run a TV company, then California. And my mom, work, and then sort of wanted to explore a little bit. Didn't want to go back to England. Quite adventurous.
I guess that's fairly unusual because when would have that been, like the 40s or 50s?
Dad would have gone. My dad was in World War II, which is wild. So that was into that late 40s that finished. So he probably went over to Canada in the 50s.
So getting transport then would have been a lot of money, right? A lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah. It was a commitment. You weren't like, let's just go and see. It was like, we're going and probably not coming back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hey, and I know that to be true about myself, right? I've moved to Sri Lanka, Brighton, Cornwall. So thanks, Pops. It's funny how these things come in that you just do because...
And then at 13, you moved back to England. What was the reason for that?
Because Dad wanted to retire. I can't even do the maths really. I guess he would have been in his 60s. And America's really expensive. All of our American clients, you know that, like private medical, all this stuff, like it's a lot. And my mom had spent all these years in America, but her father, sister, friends were in England. So I think there was a little bit of like, is it time to go back to see mum's family and be in her ancestral home? So and she got offered a job in the town that she grew up in, next to my auntie, her sister's house. I was like, come on. We arrived 13. I turned 14 shortly after we got here. Back then, America was like, I feel like now America maybe has the worldview of America is not great. Back then, it was like Surfer Dudes and Saved by the Bell. So my brother and I were kind of instantly popular at school, which was fun to be like, oh, we're a novelty. Bit of adjusting.
Can you remember the main, I guess, like just what you felt when you moved over as someone? Because 13's kind of, it's not so young that you don't have a clue what's going on. It's kind of like quite a prime area. Like you're sort of stepping into puberty, and
I feel like they timed it exactly right. Had I been 14, 15, which is when I started like girls and friends, and then later into like booze and partying at 15, 16, 13 was like, oh, we're going on an adventure. It didn't really make sense that we weren't coming back. Like having to say goodbye to some friends. I remember my mum crying as she talked to the mum, and I was like, oh, well, we'll see him. It didn't make sense that we were bloody 12 hours away. It wasn't reality. But I think it just at the right time. My brother was younger, so he didn't know. So it was kind of like a big, exciting adventure, a new house, and they probably got us like new bikes or something I can't quite remember, but like
And was that to Brighton?
No, like a little village outside of Reading.
Oh, really?
So very different to California, to like Henley near Reading. Yeah, it was. But it was also exciting because my cousins were there, my auntie and my grandpa. It was just exciting. It was like going in a shop. Like, do you ever get the thing when you go on holiday to a new town and you're in a supermarket? It's like, ooh, what are these biscuits?
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, same, man. It was kind of like that, going to newsagents. We didn't have newsagents.
Well, California is apparently it's a bit of a food desert now, isn't it? Let alone what it was probably like back then.
Different for sure. Unless, I mean, my dad we had a big garden yard in California. We grew stuff, and I'm now thinking back, like, wonder, like, it was an interest in that, but also maybe some forward thinking. We had corn and potatoes and fruit trees and that, man, you know what? This thing about California, the fruit trees in our garden, we had like a plum tree, apricot tree, like a nectarine tree. It was wild. It was garden, nectarine. I guess we've got apples and.
Yeah, we've got some outside our house. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just a rogue tree in the communal area,
Amazing.
and there is literally 500 apples on it.
Yeah.
It's a seriously nurtured tree.
Need to
I think
get
no
over
one's picked it because no one owns it.
Right.
So it's had time,
It's
to really
claim it.
Yeah, I've been claiming.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, 13,
Mm.
and then talk to me maybe a bit about those kind of like formative teenage years. Like, what comes up for you there? Like, what was life like? Like, what did you get up to? And
well, the focus for me going into a new school, the new kid, getting the attention because of a new kid and being American, was to fit in. And it wasn't. So in the States, I was a pretty top student, I suppose, top 5% or whatever. I'd set to go to like a really good high school.
Mhm.
And then we got to England, and apart from anything, like subjects were different. Like in America, we did science. In England, we have the three, chemistry, physics, and biology split.
Yeah.
So it was like different, So I kind of struggled and they struggled to put me in the right set, and it was all a bit of a. And I just wanted to make friends and be popular. I didn't care about studying. So that, I suffered a little bit in my grades and was, I guess, I was never naughty, but cheeky. We had a deputy head called Bullet, who was a notorious bully. It's kind of wild. Like now, you hear the stories, you're like, that dude should be in prison. He didn't physically ever touch people, but he would be psychological bully. Like I did something like silly, and he made me sit in a hallway about this close to a wall for like the whole morning, just stare at the wall. What does that do to anyone apart from go, I hate this guy and fuck school? So school was like a weird time, but then, 15, like booze and smoking some cigarettes and first girlfriend. Yeah, it was exciting, man. Got into skating, that obsessed with rollerblading. That was how I spent my time. And school was not important.
So talk to me about, I know obviously the rollerblading was quite a big part of your early years. Was that your first foray into the world of like movement, other than I guess PE at school, or was there lots of sports before then? Tennis.
Tennis was a family sport. I was in nappies, photos of me in nappies with a sawed-off tennis racket. That was the sport. We'd always be playing tennis, swimming, just baseball in the States, soccer in the States. Got to England, I was shit at soccer. I was like semi-good in America. Got here, and I was like, oh, I can't play football. These guys are actually amazing. So yeah, I was like tennis and baseball, like team sports. And then I played tennis, got to England, was doing really well playing for the club and semi-county. And then, but kind of loved skating. And then skating coupled with like girls and drinking was way more exciting than training tennis at 6 a.m. on a Sunday with dad, and tennis slipped away. So yeah, the rollerblading, it's funny because we didn't know and trained for it. We weren't like getting in shape. We just went skating, and you skate around town, find a spot. Just to clarify as well, we weren't like going around in circles. This was the rollerblading, kind of like skateboarding, hitting ramps, grinding rails, all that kind of stuff. And we were just on our feet, on our skates, like all day. So yeah, it wasn't organized. It was just what we did, like a fully embodied play, adventure, trying to make ramps out of shit we'd find, dodging security guards. It was like that was our life. And then we got pagers before phones. You could page each other and then meet at a spot. Yeah, man, it formed. I probably skated from like 14, 15 till about 30. Which, later to carry on the story of the skating and the movement, then led into starting a magazine and running tours and making videos and yada, yada, yada. Yeah.
Well, tell me about that.
Yeah. So
don't brush off that one.
No, fairly big, I suppose. I guess it's this thing about following your passion. Sort of having to get jobs when I was like turning, I had little jobs, but sort of 17, 18 and thinking, okay. So I didn't go to uni. Mum and dad were like, oh, you got to get a job then. Working in a music shop or whatever I was doing. H&M, all these kind of places. And then,
HMV, you mean?
oh no, H&M.
Actual H&M?
Yeah, I worked in
That's been around that long?
The first H&M was in not that long.
It is?
That would have been, I can't even do the maths, mate.
Pre-2000?
About 20. Yeah, maybe around 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around that long. I did work in Our Price Records, a bunch of these jobs. Anyway, whatever, it was cool. Got me some money, da-da-da-da-da. Always skating consistently all the way through, shooting videos with friends, and then a friend of mine, Ollie Short, and another guy, Adam Kohler, this amazing photographer. We were like, we should just start a magazine. This was into my 20s now. I'm probably like mid-20s at this point. Kind of got a sort of serious job, kind of working for friend's kite surfing magazine, doing stuff. And I remember we had this conversation, probably over a few doobies. I went to bed and I woke up and Ollie had made a logo for our skate magazine, and we were like, okay. And he'd like mocked up a cover, and then we just did it. And we just did it around we all had jobs. We would just put these two, started on Facebook. No, MySpace. It was on MySpace.
Yeah.
Started this thing. No one was doing a British rollerblading magazine at the time, so everyone was like, wow. And, I guess we'd kind of built up our names in the scene, so people loved it. And it rolled, man. We got a publisher. Every issue we'd have a party. So we were in like Brighton, London, Manchester, Bristol. We'd have movie premieres. We'd have the American pros come over, European, do a tour. And it was all around a job. Like it never paid the bills. The side hustle, it was the passion.
It sounds like it had quite big traction. How come it never?
There just wasn't the
commitment?
money. There wasn't the money that perhaps was in skateboarding. We didn't have companies like Vans and all these people that, skateboarders were getting paid $1 million contracts, like when you're 19 to skate. Rollerblading, you got like a pair of skates and maybe a couple $100 a month if you're lucky. That was it. Just there was a smaller scene.
Yeah.
So we got the most out of what we could in this little scene, and the magazine paid for itself. And sometimes we had gas money to go and do the shoot, but no one got paid. So yeah, that do I think shit, I wish, or surfing, which is what I'm into now, tons of money there. But that wasn't. I had to do it. It was like we had to do this thing. We're gonna do it. It wasn't for the money.
Were you surfing in California, by the way?
No. Boogie boarding like kids. Yeah, man. So yeah, it was, again, coming back to the thing, like we just had to make this magazine happen because we loved it and we were doing it anyway, and all of our friends were doing it. And we had a photographer, and I was a good organizer, and Ollie was a designer, and off we went. If we'd applied that to something that we were less passionate about, that was money, and we probably would have smashed it, and I'd be sitting in Barbados or something right now. But had a good time.
Great. Amazing, man. That's so interesting.
Mm.
And what, in terms of, I guess there was obviously a transition. You said you skated up until you were 30. And I know you've obviously been in the corporate world as well. I assume that was that the next transition? Like, how did you go from that lifestyle to something that became a bit more?
Well, it was interesting, Jake, because when I say corporate, it's really funny. I did do corporate IT sales jobs because it was like I was moved down to Brighton, wanted to live in my own place with friends, and it cost a bit more money than living at home. So I was like, I need to make more than £6 an hour at HMV or wherever, H&M. So I got into IT sales. I got into recruitment because I'll take anyone in recruitment. Bless you, recruiters. And you started, you get a basic salary and then you get a big commission if you and it was like, whoa, money. And then, like everything for me anyway, when I earn X, costs go up, and that's my new floor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I don't like recruitment. I'll do IT sales because that was a bit less harsh. Money was okay, paid for the things, again, like going up. And then what happened, and I hated it after a few years of this, I hated it. And my brother worked in the kite surfing industry, and he was working for a sunglass company, and I was like, how do I get into that? And the skate thing was trickling along, but I was walking on the hallway at work in my suit and tie, and I got dizzy and fell over. what the hell? Long story short, got signed off work, got diagnosed with labyrinthitis, which is an imbalance of the inner ear. And I never went back and got a payout from the company because after a while I was like, oh, they can't make me go back. So got a payout from this company, which left me free to start again. Financially in a bit of trouble. So I started 1 day a week at my friend's video production company. He was making kite surfing films. Rob Clace, love you, bro. And he was like, let's see if we can make content. For the internet was coming up, YouTube had launched. Everyone was like, what's YouTube? It was like those times, 2006. Yeah, 2006. And he was like, here's a phone and the computer, see if we can get us any work. And that's how it started, man. And then we grew it and grew it. And then we split the company. He ran the kite surfing, I ran the corporate production world. And it was a load of friends. So our clients were corporate still. We were still working for like Love Film and Nike and Pepsi and all these companies. But we were just a bunch of mates. I just hired my friends that were making skate videos and it turned out really good at it and editing. We never hired anyone that was like, oh, you're a filmmaker. It was like, Ed, you're pretty sick at doing that. Come on in.
Do you think they brought a different angle to the scene in terms of the way that they were filming and
100%.
mashing up the content?
Yeah, man. We got loads of work off the kind of lifestyle thing. Especially my friend Sim Warren's amazing DOP now. He was just experimenting like all the time. He'd come in one day, he's like, oh, I've made this new technique, I've made a new camera, whatever he had done. It was sick. And that, and then taking it to corporate. Now, some people didn't get it. They're like, I want ABC. And others like, we want to be different. So we started working with Finisterre. I met Ernie at a trade show or something. And we just started getting these really, really interesting brands. I wanted to tell stories. But it was hard, man, to sit there and well, you've been on the design side, right? The creativity when you're like, we're going to do this thing. And they're like, yeah, cool, but can you just do what we say? And you're like, yeah, you end up just being a monkey.
Yeah.
So there was that too.
Yeah, of course. And how old were you during this period?
So I started there just around 30. I started at Fat Sand, was the production company. It was just late 20s, 30-ish, yeah.
And during that time, like, did you have any like interest in kind of, I guess, well-being, whatever we want to call that? Like, obviously, mindset is like your main thing, but also movement, nutrition, all those sort of things.
Not really, man. I mean, then I started surfing at 30. So I was like skate. So I was always like, and I've got a high metabolism, so I never looked fat, right? And I kind of looked okay with my shirt off. So I was like, oh, I don't need to worry.
And you're obviously doing a lot of movement just through play of the
skate,
sports you're doing.
Surf, you know, walked everywhere around Brighton, got a bike, loved riding my fixie bike around Brighton, like just.
So there was no structured exercise at that point?
Absolutely not. Every now and again, I'd meet a friend who's like, you got to do 10 push-ups every time you go for a piss. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to do that for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that feels like a pump. And then at some point, early 30s, I was like, oh, I stopped skating. Separate story, had a bit of an accident. Surfing wasn't all the time because I lived in Brighton. I was like, I want to make sure I get in shape here. Tried to run on my own. And then went to CrossFit gym. That would have been about 2013. And I was like, well, this is cool. You don't know what you're going to do, and you show up, oh, you're doing these, now you're running, now you're doing pull-ups, and it was awesome. And then it's so funny, we had Dave Draper, one of the best coaches I've ever had of anything, still out there. Shout out, Dave. Good separate question, this one. This reminded me of something. Dave was a calisthenics guy, and he ran 2 calisthenics classes at this CrossFit gym, and I never missed them. And the pull-up progressions, it was epic. And that was it, man. And then from there, that then started my structured exercise program. Because I was like, okay, I kind of need this because I can't surf all the time. Knew as I got older, I wanted to look after my joints and my strength.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this would seem like a completely random question in any other context, but obviously, where was your mental health at that point? And like the way that you perceive the world around you, because obviously going into what you went into, there was some transformation there, right? So something must have caused that, maybe.
when I talked earlier about having the labyrinthitis and leaving the corporate and going into that was I guess there was a little bit of depression then, but I didn't really know of all these tools. Really, I went to the doctor and he gave me some drugs, and I remember feeling like I don't want to take these, and I probably took them for a week. I was like, no, thank you. I had enough knowledge, or must have heard something about. And then I'm like, no, I didn't. I just fucking knew, and I didn't know, but I knew. And I always talk about this, right? We know if we let ourselves be free, we know the answer. So I feel like at the time I must have gone, I don't want to do this. I think maybe it's better if I just start skating again and see some friends, because I got a bit isolated because I was, you know. Then I came out of that because So my mental health at the time of CrossFit was pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Interesting. So then what took you, obviously I know at some point you moved to Sri Lanka, obviously, and you obviously got into, you changed direction and you started to actually train in the mindset stuff. Like you were taking more care of like what you were eating, like how you moved. So what did that transition look like?
It's my wife, Jessamine. She is a yoga teacher. So she would be teaching and practicing yoga. She'd be doing some breathing with that and the pranayama and stuff. She'd be talking about meditation. And I had a few friends that were in that world, and it was like, this was really intriguing to me. It looked better than what I saw around me, which was like work, coffee, beer, smoke. But, I didn't, I was like, what's this? And then, getting out to Sri Lanka, I guess there was space and time. We didn't have to work as much because of, and we were running a surf and yoga retreat. So there was yoga every day, and there was some pranayama classes, and there was just a slower approach to life and appreciating life and not having to rush. And the guys, my friends that had set up the surf and yoga retreat, Ed and Sophie, God bless them for doing that. They were more into meditation, and they were speaking about mindfulness and bringing guests over to teach some mindfulness stuff. Sam Bleakley, the local Cornish longboarder, had his mindfulness book out, and I was like, this makes sense. Oh, slowing down. All right. I had a friend come over from another girl from Cornwall who led me on a meditation that was like, wow. And that just cracked me open to be like, this is clearly the way. Owning your thoughts. Yeah. Breathing. Yeah, man. And then from there, forward a few years, snapped my ACL. There's a whole lot of story, but I snapped my ACL doing jiu-jitsu. We were back in England at the time, got laid off from a job, a company I was working at, and I just spiraled into a really deep depression, man, like really bad. It was just after Avila was born. Mm-hmm. And like really the heaviest shit that you can go through. Like, maybe I shouldn't be here. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I was planning how I'd like disappear. I was like, oh, they'll be better off without me. And that maybe sounds kind of heavy, but that was where I was at.
Why do you think you were feeling that way? Why do you think, ACL, obviously not a nice injury to have, but obviously not directly linked with questioning everything?
The big part of it is I realized that the movement, whatever we call it, whether it was CrossFit, surfing, cycling, running, was how I kept my mental health or kept strong mentally. Oh, I was feeling a rough day at work, just go running, go for a surf, wash it away. Oh, that feeling. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't move. I mean, I was just doing basic knee movements and some bicep curls. And it was like, I was sat, literally had to face all the shit in my life because I couldn't run from it. And so the things I'd put off, like, I'm not saving enough. Oh, I regret this thing. All the things that we have in our life, was just, I couldn't run away from it, man. And I think that, like the pile-on.
I guess
And my dad had just died.
And your dad had just died.
So that was a big one.
I guess intentionally and unintentionally, like you'd been like de-stressing and expressing through movement since like a very young age. Like you started on tennis in a nappy, then you moved to like obviously all the other sports, to rollerblading, surfing, CrossFit, calisthenics, like all those different things. And then suddenly that was taken away, which I agree. It kind of sounds like, wow, how could that caused you to go so deep. And obviously there was other stuff tied up in that, but it's really interesting how that was the catalyst for that, because that had become such a norm for you, that outlet.
Yeah. And I think that's coming for everyone. We're going to face our stuff at some point, whether it's through an injury or something. But it was like running away from anything. And of course, tied with that, I smoked a lot of weed in my 20s and into my early 30s. And that was a way to hide from the stuff that's going on in my life as well. Some people have booze, some have other things. Mine was weed. So yeah, it was like, you got to face all this stuff. And then so that to move out of it, which I guess is where we're going with this, was I had been to some like men's circles in the past, I'd done some breathwork stuff in the past, and kind of like, oh, that was cool, but I was fine. So I was like, I don't need this, I'm all right. That was fun. I see how it's good for other people. Yeah, valuable. And then I was driving to a jiu-jitsu class. Pardon me, I'm getting wrong way around. Anyway, I was driving, I heard a podcast, Sacred Sons, American men's work thing, and there was a man on there. It's basically, he said the lines that were going through my head of like, oh, I'm not good enough, and my family don't deserve me. And then I went to a Sacred Sons event, and I'm like, who are these guys? You know how these things arrive in our life. I don't remember how I followed them. It's just like, let's all listen to that. And there was an event in England a few weeks later in Devon, and my wife was like, yeah, you're going. It's okay. I didn't really know anything about it.
Did she know that you were in a good place?
Yeah. Like I would go for like a day without really speaking to her, which is, it breaks my heart when I think about it, but here we are. So she knew. And I went to this event, 4 days, North Devon, 60 men. And it was just like, heart cracked open of like, oh, I'm not the only person. You hear everyone else's issues. It's way deeper than mine, but mine is just this, where it was my real, and changed my life, man. So that was just like and I remember coming out of there, picked up Jess and Avila from the station, and we drove down to Cornwall. And I couldn't talk too much with Avila in the car. And then we got to where we're going, and the way I was speaking and talking, and then Jessamine just broke down in tears. She's like, I've got you back. I thought I lost you. And I was like, wow, fuck. That was how bad it was. And man, that's been the path a couple of years now of the men's work, bringing in what I'd learned about breathwork and stuff in Sri Lanka. And here we are.
Did that moment, was that the thing that inspired you to feel like, right, someone's given me this gift, like I want to then give that to someone else?
Hey, that's beautiful. I think the gift was them. How do I phrase the gift? They just helped me open the door and see it myself. It wasn't like, here you go, this is something you can use. It was like, hey, look in there. That's yours, bro. You're going to use it or you're going to lose it. I want to fucking use it. And so I knew, and it was like the first time really in my life that I was like, this is 100% who I'm supposed to be. And it meant a lot of sacrifice, because there's, in the beginning, certainly it's hard to make money doing it. I should have stayed in corporate, but
should have.
Exactly. Don't fall into the should trap. Yeah, talk about that. Hey, there was more financial reward in the corporate production world.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And then that was it. It was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, whether one guy comes or 100 guy comes. I have to. It felt like I have to. So I fully immersed into that world. Did some trainings in the States and Scotland, flew to Australia with the Sacred Sons, and just was like, do you know what it was, man? We talk about it sometimes. I was mentored for the first time in my life by real men, in this instance, that didn't have an agenda. It wasn't like a teacher telling me to pass something. I was mentored by some really beautiful men, Carly, Hunter, and Andrew, to further unlock me. And man, whatever you're trying to do, I really feel it's an important part of life. It's having somebody to mentor you. Yeah.
So anyone that's a client knows that Joe is amazing at helping people,
bless you,
figure shit out.
Yeah.
Right? To just put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Block obstacles.
Yeah.
See things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So what do you, from your perception, what are kind of guys in our position struggling with typically? And by that I mean probably lots of pressure from career, whether they're in their own business or like, you know, they work long hours, obviously having a family potentially as well. Like what are the most common things that you see as challenges, blocks, obstacles?
Yeah, man, good question. So I feel like the number one piece of all of it is we are kind of told to do it, or not even told, just kind of conditioned to do it alone as a man, and suck it up, man up, all that sort of phrasing. This is just what it is. Work harder, put your head down, don't complain. You know, you're soft if you do complain, so shut up and get on with it. Certainly don't cry about it to anyone. And so that, like, life is hard, man. Like kids, mortgages, rents, a business. Even if you don't have your own, at this age, our clients are typically pretty high achieving folk who have some serious responsibility, you know, and have teams working for. That's a lot. And then we're supposed to just be all right and not really talk about it. And so that comes out in mental health, but also physical ailments, and that like pressure, that burnout, all those things. So to answer your question, it's like I'm alone and I can't talk to anyone about it because I'm not supposed to. It's almost celebrated. I think gym culture celebrates like lone wolf. I'm the badass in the corner of my headphones, and I've got lone wolf on. Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So that's the biggest problem. We're supposed to do alone. Don't be soft. Don't be weak. And that applies to women too. You know, been working with some female clients so far as recently, and similar but different. I think the other stuff is these stories that we're told, and it all comes back to our childhood. Honestly, 0 to 7. What happened? How we brought up? What did our parents expect of us? What stories were we told? Oh, you're only going to succeed if you do A, B, and C. I don't know, grades, whatever. You're top in your class for this, and you win at the football tournament. That's the only way you're ever going to succeed in life. Those stories, or for girls particularly, you've got to be pretty. You know, be quiet, just be nice. Boys, shut up, stop being aggressive. Don't run around, sit still. All these kind of stories manifest, and then we're like shut down for being weird, or all of that. School, you got to do A, B, and C. Well, what about the guy doing X, Y, Z? He's an incredible musician. Yeah, but we don't do music. We're doing maths. All of that plays into our adult life, and then we're suddenly working these jobs. We're working really intensely. Let's say it's either your own or an employee. We've been told the only way we're going to be praised is by the achievements that we have. I got a company. I got 20 staff. I got 2 sites. I'm making X. I bought the new car. Oh, Joe's doing great. If Joe's off doing a men's circle that is got 10 people there and has made not much money, society doesn't really care. And those people do, and their people do. But that's not celebrated, right? So, yeah, that was just an observation.
So what do you think that the implications of that are? Like what I'm hearing is that obviously some people enjoy what they do, some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people wish things were different, but they don't make a change for whatever reason. Maybe some of those societal, status, financial barriers. Do you think people are like they're trapped? That a lot of people feel trapped in like the rhythms that they're in.
I think so. And of course, as we get older and we have more responsibility, we can't just sack it all in and go and live in Sri Lanka and start a new career. Like, that's harder. And it's not. But it's definitely, as we get older, like, I hear that trapped word. I hear a lot. Is this it? That kind of thing. Is this all there is? I'm going to be in this job for the next 20 years. You could do. And also, you might love what you do. You're just wanting to change it a little bit. I love this company I run, but I'm just making, for me, I was running a production company. We were successful, but we were making films for pharmaceutical companies and healthcare companies and law firms. And I'm like, I don't care about any of these things, but I love making content. Let's just pivot over here, change the angle, go with Finisterre and a coffee brand and a shoe brand, you know? So that is like not being afraid. It's also knowing yourself, to know what you're good at, what makes you What makes your heart sing is a term my wife. What's going to make me like, yeah, I want to do this thing, right? I mean, you've done it. You've changed your because of lots of reasons, and there's financial, and sometimes the business isn't. But it's also, yeah, like what makes you get up and go?
Yeah, I think it just builds up eventually and it explodes in some kind of way, and you can use that explosion either to crash and go into like a downward spiral, or you can use it as fuel to create change in a positive way. But
Right on.
it's very difficult. Both ways are hard.
Both ways are hard. I'll say also, and I say this to our clients that are more on the mindset stuff that I'm working with. It's like actually the gold is in the mud. So like if you have, when I had these couple of bouts of mental health issues, I came back with like way more resolve, drive, things, finding out who I am. So if we're like cruising, we're cruising. That's great. Whether it's now 10 years or 50 years, there's going to be a dip. I'm not like cursing anyone. I'm just seeing the pattern. And if we don't address these things, my job is too much, or my relationship's shitty. Oh, but it's the way it is. At some point, that's going to dip. And so better to catch that, go, okay, there's something funky here. Don't be afraid to face that, because a lot of our guys we work with, they faced incredible challenges with their businesses through COVID, setting up offices in new places. Like there's some really bright, high achieving people in the program. So they can do that, but fitness, how do I get the time? Bro, you've got a multi-million-dollar law firm. You can't, how? Or then the deeper stuff.
Yeah.
My mind, my relationship, this and that.
And on that note, obviously, anyone that's seen a lot of like the content that I put out, or anyone that's in the program, knows that we really believe that all of this, the getting in shape, being healthy, is, it's most 75% mindset,
100%.
right? Like how you approach it and those detailed intricacies. Oh, what diet are you on? Like what workout program did you train today or not? Like.
Yeah.
All of those, none of those can happen without the mindset being in the right place. And that's the main reason that people struggle, is they can't be consistent. They go up and down, all or nothing thinking, on and off, like all these different things. I don't have time, stories that you're telling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming that, we believe that mindset is the biggest part of this, anyone watching this, what would you say are the top, let's go, rather than obstacles, let's maybe go like more solutions. So like 1 to 3 solutions.
What 3 things would you do?
So you're working long hours.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have any time. You've got your family to take care of. You don't feel good. Like maybe you're a bit overweight. You've got low energy. You're not strong. Maybe you're still clinging on to, I used to play football. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
What would you suggest? Like, what are some mindset switches and tools and ways of thinking that could really help them just make one step forward today after listening to this?
Hey, all right. Well, number 1 is start moving. Walk. Do something. Whether you're with us or not, like do something, man. Pick up the bike, cycle into work today. Go for the walk, like move your body, because when we are stuck in our head, we can't feel anything. We can't address the stuff because the stories are on repeat in a pattern. So like by moving, and then when I'm talking moving, actually I want to like get that hard up, so we're like feeling our body, whether that's a run, a walk, a swim, a bike ride, whatever it is, a workout. So like that, like get moving, get out of your head. And then the other piece is to listen to yourself. Listen to what these little patterns, notice them, write them down. Get a piece of paper, get a journal, and start writing. Like if the thing is, I really want to quit this job, and you're still telling yourself that 3 months, 6 months, I've got to change my career. Well, no one's going to change that for you. So let's write it down. Let's start to like get it out. Like, what does that look like? Start writing. Sharing, even. I'll use the same thing. Find people you can share with honestly. Whether you're writing on your pad, or a friend, or a group, or a counselor, or a therapist, or your coach. Tell them, I'm really struggling, man. I don't know how I'm balancing the kids and my life at the moment. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awareness, right?
100%.
Um,
That's actually just to interject quickly. There's one of the mentorships that I was on. One of the first things we did was a practical thing of basically every single thing you do in a work day, like write it down,
yeah, nice.
and you go from thinking you're the busiest person in the world and there's no opportunities to do more to going, fuck me, like I waste so much time.
Yeah.
I'm completely bullshitting myself every single day.
Yeah.
And you need to almost call yourself out. That is that awareness. You reflect, you call yourself out, and when you see it there, at the time you might think, well, that's a busy day, and then you wake up the next day and you think, wow, how many opportunities are within that day?
And if you're honest, and you're like,
countless.
40-minute scroll time at bedtime, 40 minutes or whatever it is, probably my average when I was really into it. I love that, man. And then, thinking about then solutions without being too, it would be then writing down there's a whole breathwork kind of program that I run, and it's the average perfect day. So you write down, what's your average perfect day? Where are you waking up? Who are you with? What does the bed look like? What's your view? Who's there? What do you eat for breakfast? Are you working? Where are you? All that kind of stuff. And that might be like, it's in my house. I love my house. Whatever it is, you can kind of see what's possible, what your mind is capable of producing, given some freedom, instead of maybe what you're doing, because it's kind of what you've been doing for 5, 10, 15 years, which might have been the dream originally. And then we know that the dream changes. We'll pivot. So that, and then a real practical one is a really simple breathwork exercise. Because when we talk about these folk, the word that comes up is overwhelmed. Oh God, I work, I've got the money situation, I've got the family, and also trying to look after myself. Oh, but the dog needs, it's overwhelm. So to get out of that state when we're in this like fight or flight, and to drop into the parasympathetic, it's the box breath. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and in the nose and out of the mouth. And you just go around in this box 3 or 5 rounds minimum, and I promise you'll just go, now what's the situation? It's not solving all of your problems, but it lets you address them and approach them from a much more grounded, like present place.
So it allows you to just take a step back from that feeling of overwhelm, basically, and actually then deal with things in a more controlled manner,
right?
Systematic.
And then it's also, I'm working with a guy at the moment, and he's got lots going on with his relationship, his job, the children's school, all these different things. And what we're working on with him is like, what's your anchor? What's one thing that is brilliant in your life, that is actually amazing and you love? And it might be like, I just love my bike rides on a Saturday morning. Great. Or it might be Friday dinners with a family on the beach. Or it might be my Monday morning meet with my amazing team. Everything else is a bit chaotic right now. There's something in your life that is good and solid and gives you joy and gives you this feeling of purpose. Some people there isn't, and that's another story. But typically our clients, they've got something that's like, find that anchor and then work backwards, right? Okay, that's good, cool, beautiful. These other things need some work, right? It's impossible to address all of them at once. So yeah, find the anchor, maybe make a list of things that you want to look at pretty broadly. And then just slowly, like anything, like you've run your successful business, start running your life, making time for it.
And one of the things that comes up for me is with all of this, which is definitely part of the mindset thing as well, with anything, like you've got to do something about it ultimately. And that's where, we always say that almost to a degree, like the way you do it, the system, like doesn't matter that much. Yeah. Obviously, there's a more sustainable approach. Optimal, there's actually going, what does my life look like, and making it fit and reducing the friction, which will make it easier for you to take action. Yeah. But any approach to anything can be done with the right mindset, even if it is crazy and intense, which we don't recommend. But you could still technically do that.
And that's beautiful, because I think sometimes actually some people need to get that shot of something intense, like, there's guys that are like, right, I'm going to do a marathon. And you're like, bro, can you run 5K? But sometimes they need that level of like inspiration or motivation to be like, boof, because 10 push-ups a day isn't going to do anything for them. Other people, 10 push-ups, 5,000 steps, that's great.
Yeah.
So, and you know, the piece there, man, is like, no one's coming to save you. You're here to save you. You know, you're your own hero. You're your own coach. You're your own mentor. You're your own, all of it. We should ask for help. But unless I've made a choice to go, I want to message Vibrant People and find out about this coaching program. We're not going to be like, I think Dave in Manchester needs a call. Like, action, a little tiny action. And that action isn't, I'm 5% overweight, need to be 6-pack abs. It's, I need to make the call.
That's step one.
Or forget us. I need to join the gym. I need to pump up the tires on my bicycle. Pump up the tires. Step one. Not go for the 10K bike ride. You know?
Yeah. Why do you think, despite people's best intentions, they then struggle to actually action on it? So there might be some research, there might be a lot of intent, there might even be some motivation, and then suddenly Monday comes, everything's ready to go, everything's in the right place, and then suddenly the week's gone. Oh shit, it's Saturday and I haven't changed anything. All old habits and nothing's changed. Like what do you feel from your experience with obviously helping a lot of clients through that initial momentum period?
Yeah.
What's going on there from your expertise?
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's simple. It's way easier to not do it. I already know what I'm doing. I know how to not work out. I know how to not make 30 minutes a day. I know how to do that.
Would you call that habit?
Yeah, it's a habit, and then there's a fear. Like, oh, I don't know how many that. I don't know how to do a pull-up. I don't know when I could find 30 minutes. That means shuffling something in my life that's pretty comfortable, even though I know I'm not happy with it. It's kind of comfortable. I know I go here, I do that, I do this, I do that. So there's this, it's that, man, it's comfort and fear. It's way easier to not do the thing. It's way easier to not quit booze. It's way easier to not work out. It's way easier to not address my mental health issues because it's scary. And you have to look yourself in the mirror and go, oh, I no one else did this to me. No one else got me overweight. No one else got me into a mental state, unless there's some serious stuff. I did this. Can you own that? Person listening, can you own that it's your responsibility? It's not anyone else's. Yeah, life comes along. Oh, you're busy. Cool. Well, did you choose the job? Yep. Did you say yes to the extra project? Yep. Did you have a child accidentally or on purpose? Yep. Did you? What? Yeah, you did that. Now, again, with deep respect to anyone who's been through some really gnarly, heavy things, of course, those things are going to affect you. But then you choose how to deal with them. Is this who I am? Am I the kid that got, or my mum died when I was young and that's me and that's my life story? Yeah, it is. And what are you doing with that? What's the motivation? Oh, I got dumped and I'm heartbroken and my wife left me. Yeah. Why'd she leave you? Can you face that? It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But there's probably
so
something.
A lot of this is
ownership.
It's not just as simple as picking up a fitness plan and following like a certain diet for a bit. It's actually really to make this stick long term and be a change, you have to really put the mirror in front of you and and go deeper.
And before I worked with you, the first thing I did with my clients is like, what's your physical pillar? We have the physical pillar. What is it? Very different to Vibrant People's because the guys are coming in and girls coming in all sorts of different ways. But what are we doing every day physically? Before even we start, we hear your story, we see that you're this and that. But the first step is physical. So what we do is, we're like, bang, we're going to get you moving, we're going to get you in shape, eating right. And how often, for me, my experience anyway, it's usually 6 weeks in, we have our like, what's in the way call that people are like, yeah, there's this other thing, because they're now like, oh, I'm feeling better. I can get out of my head a bit more. I'm able to notice this stuff.
Yeah.
So for sure, like a physical movement first.
So it's not to say you have to figure these things out before you start. It's kind of just get started, and then we'll figure that out as we go, and it's all going to snowball into each other.
And you might have, depending on who you are, right, and what's in your world, you might have an idea that there's this thing that's bothering you, but it's a lot easier to join a gym or a program than it is to, societally, I think, to see a therapist or ask for a mindset coach or someone like me. It's way easier to just go, well, I'm going to go lift weights and go running. Mm-hmm. So do that. And be aware that you're not going to hide it. You might. I see, we talked about this before, addictions, like if it's exercise, drugs or alcohol can be the same. And I see folks that are running every day, swimming every day, and I'm like, so what are you hiding from? God bless this person that I know, not locally, but her husband died suddenly a few years ago. And now she's like some crazy triathlete training 4 times a day, you know? And I'm like, I see exactly what's going on here. You don't want to face the grief and the pain.
So it can go, well, I guess that's your own story as well.
That's
At
my
one
own
point,
story
maybe.
too. Yeah. So, yeah, don't hide from it, but start doing something and notice it. Write it down, speak about it, and get your body moving. Cut out sugar, cut out booze. There, I said it. Don't drink. Not the official company line. It's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're wrapping up now.
Yeah.
We've got, me and Joe both got some client stuff going on. So final question, let's go for a nice little takeaway.
Okay.
Reflecting over your life, what do you feel was the most profound perspective shift that sort of brought you to where you are today from where you maybe were on another path or another tangent? Like what created that?
Wow.
Maybe it was the depression point, or maybe something else comes up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it just has to be going to that Sacred Sons event and seeing Kale from Hawaii speak. And then from there on, it was just the
But
world.
what do you feel, what was that outlook that actually changed for you that made it different?
Yeah, you're not alone. You are not alone. Every single person that comes to me is like, oh, I'm this and that. I'm like, yeah, you don't say this. I've heard it before. Like we've all got one of the people, we've all got one of those things. And the realization that I'm not the only one that was having these thoughts was like, cool. And there's other people that are willing to share their at different journeys, at different parts of the journey, how they got through it. That was it, man. It's like, whoa. So I can call someone and say I've got these deep, dark feelings, and they're like, oh yeah, I've been there. What? Yeah, man, you're not alone. You out there, you weren't alone. So that was it for me.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Thank you, man.
To find out, go through the archives and into the present.
Yeah, that's fun to do, hey? When do we reflect that much on our lives?
Never.
You felt like this when we did you, right?
Yeah, it was quite cathartic in a way.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Okay, we'll see you on the next one.
Nice.